Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
All right,
And
thank
if
you very
all else fails, it will be the abandoned ship alarm.
All right, thank you very much, Mean Gene. Hello, everybody. This is episode number 30 of Beach Talk Radio, January 19, 2019, episode 30. Along with my wife, Kim Ryan, my name is Ed Ryan, and we're coming to you live from Peach Time Out on Fort Myers Beach. Another beautiful day. It's not cold anymore. It's going to be super awesome.
It is very nice out today.
We are live every Saturday morning from Beach Time Out, and you can watch the show on the Beach Talk Radio Facebook page, which some of you are doing right now. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
You can also listen to the show on iHeartRadio, Spotify, the Apple Podcast app, Spreaker.com, and we have our own app that you can download from the Apple App Store. All of our shows are archived on our website, beachtalkradio.com. We have another great show lined up for you today with the beach election, only 45 days away. It's crucial now that everyone pay attention to the issues and learn who the candidates are. Including today, there are only 7 Saturdays until Election Day, and that's Tuesday, March the 5th. We're going to make sure we do our part to educate the community on who's running for office and what their platforms will be, so you can slip into that voting booth and make the best choices for this here beach.
Slip, slide.
Yep. We know who the candidates are.
You do.
We know who all 4 candidates are for 2 open seats. Dan Allers, Dennis Bobak, Ray Murphy, and Rexanne Hassenfrost.
You love saying her name.
We received some good news and bad news this week, dear.
Uh-oh.
The good news
didn't even ask me what I wanted to hear first.
What do you want to hear first?
Well,
I hope you say the good news, because that's
right.
the way I've written it down. The good news was that through her public relations firm, the Fort Myers Beach Observer, the newspaper, Mayor Tracy Gore decided she is not running for office. Her reasoning was that she wanted to spend more time with her family, which is very nice. More likely, it was because there was no possible way she could win re-election with the such strong candidates we have running for these 2 seats.
Well, that's according to you.
And her abysmal record. Anti-growth agenda. The bad news is Dennis Bobak just can't get over himself, and he's decided he's going to run again.
This is your editorial, right? This is your opinion.
Just my opinion. It's not the opinion of the show or Peach Time Out or anyone listening. Just my humble opinion.
Humble.
How many voters are there on Fort Myers Beach? Do you have any idea?
I'm going to say 5,325.
Well, you're close. There's roughly 5,000 voters here on the beach. Take a guess at the percentage of voters in the last election from the number.
I'm going to say that the percentage who came out and voted?
Correct.
I'm going to say that percentage was 62%.
58%. But that's not good enough for this year, folks. Everyone has to get out and vote.
That was a lot.
They say that's a lot.
They said that was a lot.
When they said it was a lot, I was a little taken aback by that. A lot of voters going to vote to me is 90%.
I don't know.
You need to vote.
I know, but people don't get out and do it. People don't.
Anyway, 58% voted. So more folks have to go out. This is the most important election of our lives, dear, of our lives.
Okay.
The other news is that we'll be moderating or mediating a candidates forum being hosted by the Women's Club on Monday, February the 11th. So please come out and learn about your candidates.
I think it's more moderate than mediate. I don't think there'll be a lot of mediating going on.
All right. Our guest today in the second half of the show, Carla Pine, owner of the Salty Dog, located down the street right under Hoosiers. We're going to talk to Carla about her business as well as her thoughts as a business owner on the politics here on the beach. But up first, our first guest is one of the candidates for office, Rexanne Hassenfrost.
Yes,
she's running for one of the 2 open seats. It's our second appearance on the show, and we're so happy to have her here, honored to have her here. Let me tell you some of the things that you probably already know.
Okay.
Rexanne taught high school English, then she worked
Why can't you just let her tell it?
Well, because I like doing this. I like doing this.
Well,
Rexanne taught high school English, then she worked full-time. I'm practicing for the 11th, too. While attending law school, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong anywhere along the way, Rexanne. And let's see, she was attending law school at night and earned a JD, I don't know what that is.
Juris Doctorate.
Sorry, at the Capital University School of Law. She was the Assistant Attorney General for the state of Ohio. That's pretty awesome. She represented senior citizens and victims of domestic violence with the Legal Aid Society of Columbus, and she spent 19 years as a magistrate in family court in Franklin County. You can check out our Facebook page, Rexanne for Town Council, and if you'd like to make a contribution to her campaign, send her an email, Rexanne for, the number 4, not spelled out, the number 4, FMB@gmail.com. Here is my lovely co-host and wife of 37 years, Kim Ryan, with our first guest of the day.
Okay, well, it hasn't been 37 years, but you're getting close. It feels like 37 years, that's for sure. So we are so happy to have you back today, Rexanne. Thank you for indulging us in your presence here today.
Actually, I look forward to coming. It's fun. You guys are very relaxing to talk to, and like I said, it's a fun place to be. It's a fun thing to do.
It's just a conversation.
If you invite anybody that's out there, say yes.
Yes. Well, we've invited a couple people, and unfortunately, they have said no, probably for very good reason. However, we try to be fair. I try to be fair and balanced. Can't always say the same for my wonderful husband, but in any event, so yes. So he ran down all your accolades. Is there any other information that he missed or was inaccurate about?
Oh, nothing was inaccurate there, but that's basically my professional resume. Here on the beach, I've done a lot of volunteer work for different groups. I'm a volunteer for Friends of the Mound House. I'm on their board, actually. I volunteer for Chapel by the Sea. I also work with the group in Lehigh, the Presbyterian Homes of Lehigh. I'm on their board to help provide housing for senior citizens and handicapped folks that are low income.
And you have been here, a resident on the beach, for a while now.
I have. It'll be 8 years in March that I've been a full-time resident, stay here year-round. Okay. When I bought my home in 1999, my husband and I planned on going back and forth. And we'd been doing that because we had to when we were both working. But once we retired, we did it one time, and I said to my husband, this is really a grind. I like being down there. Let's just stay year-round. And so that's what we've done ever since.
And you have also previously served on the town council.
I did. I left my post 2 years ago, but I was on for 3 years. I think it was 2014 to 17. Yeah.
Yes, and it's been a little rocky since you left. So
actually, it was a little rocky before I left.
And why was it rocky back then?
Well, some new people got elected to the council, and
while
I was on, and one of the things that I found very disturbing that happened was that they called an emergency meeting and fired the town manager, and I think it was done in a very deceitful way.
Yes. I was reading some of the information, some of the minutes from back then, and you did express some strong feelings towards some of the members.
I think the news press quoted me as being livid was the word.
I think that was
you don't hear that one very often.
But I think you're pretty measured in your responses, but I would assume that getting caught off guard and, no one wants to be a part of that kind of an incident where you haven't fleshed out all the issues.
Exactly. Basically, there were two big things going on there. One is, do we keep this town manager? But if you decide you don't want to keep him, how do you get rid of him? And I personally didn't have enough evidence that I think we should have gotten rid of him at that time. And we didn't have any kind of evidentiary hearing. There was no due process. And I predicted it was going to lead to a lawsuit, and it did. And it ended up costing the town money because of the way that they got rid of him. There are ways that if you want to fire someone or dismiss someone, there are ways to do it, and there are ways not to do it, and they did it the absolute most wrong way you could have done it. And then it was also revealed that they had gone behind the scenes. They had gotten advice from legal counsel that was not the attorney for the town, which I think was really, really wrong. And there were no results or
punishments.
That nothing happened as a result of that improper behavior.
Who were the council members? I mean, I think who was on the council back then? Everybody. Who was the entire group that was on there without pointing fingers? Because you can go back and read the transcript.
Dennis Bobeck was the mayor.
Okay.
Tracy Gore had been elected. I believe, Summer Stockton was on at that time. It was before she resigned, and Anita Saracita and I.
Okay. So those were the players.
Yes.
And when council members take it upon themselves to go seek counsel from someone or to go to speak to anybody about town business, I'm not a lawyer or a person who stands in ethical review of anybody, but isn't that bordering on impropriety, and doesn't that get close to the sunshine laws?
Well, sunshine applies to the elected members. So talking to an outside attorney doesn't violate the sunshine law. The sunshine law is that two people that are on any elected board that would vote on an issue can't speak to each other about any issue that might become before you, which with this town council means almost anything can come before this town council to be voted on.
Right.
Beach chairs, sidewalks. There are so many things that you really...
rentals.
And my policy is that I err on the side of caution. If someone that, is on the council with me starts to mention something, I always say to myself, gee, could we ever be voting on this? And if we might be voting on it, even if it's not on the agenda at the present time, but it might be in the future, you say, hey, we can't talk about this.
Right.
And you stop.
So now, jumping forward to this election coming up, and Dennis is running again, how we know you're going to get on. So if he gets on,
I'm not saying I know I'm going to get on.
I know you're not. I feel confident. If that were to happen and he were to get on, what kind of working relationship do you feel you guys could carve out?
Well, I'm always going to be respectful to him. I believe if you go back and look, I never disrespected him.
Right.
And that's the way I believe in dealing with people, because you have to go forward. And if you disrespect people, then you can't go forward. And if he is respectful to me, then I think we would be able to have a working relationship.
And dealing with each other respectfully, besides just being what you should do, there are codes of conduct and codes of ethics that the town is and the council members are supposed to abide by when they get into office.
Definitely,
correct?
Definitely.
So hopefully.
And you don't even always have to go back and read what's written down. To me, I think you need to listen to your gut.
Right.
If there's a little voice inside of you saying, gee, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, then listen to that little voice. You can never go wrong by erring on the side of caution.
Well, I think it gets to character, and I think that your experience and all the things that you have done speak to your character, because you can't fake it once you get in there. It's how you are is how you are.
You're exactly right.
So anyways, I will say that we talked about your ad, and I made a comment of the X in the box. We have to show that. I'm stealing this from your purse.
Feel free.
So there is vote for Rexanne with the X in the box, which I love. I love.
A friend of mine came up with that. I do not take credit, but it was a great idea.
It was. And the tenets under which you operate, I came up with a little mnemonic this morning. So now we're going to refer to you as Rexanne Ike Hassafras, which stands for integrity, knowledge, and experience.
Thank you.
Yeah. So speak to us about how those three adjectives, some of how you describe yourself in those adjectives, what your integrity and your knowledge and your experience are going to lend themselves well to this position.
Well, I think having a background in law is a good thing.
That's a good one.
There's a lot of negativity out there about attorneys. And there are some attorneys that are not such nice people, and I've met them. I was not one of them. Like you heard earlier, I worked for the Legal Aid Society.
Right.
I tried to help poor people. I tried to help families. I worked for the state and tried to make sure that things were safe. One of the things I did was elevator safety when I worked for the state. I tried to make sure things were safe for people. There are a lot of attorneys out there who do that kind of thing, but they don't get any of that kind of press. But anyway,
Right.
I think a legal background is a good thing. I also have the knowledge from having worked for the town before. And one thing that I believe in is that you can never have enough knowledge. One of the things I did when I was elected before is I spent a half a day with at least one person in every department learning what happened in their department. I plan on doing that again. I
Okay.
rode around with Toons LaFave in a town vehicle, picking up stuff. He showed me what kinds of things they do. I spent time at Bay Oaks. I spend time at the Mount House all the time. I'm always trying to learn more. So I think you can never have enough knowledge. Integrity, I think that's another thing that's important. I chose those three adjectives because I don't think it's so important to run on the issues as to run on qualifications. This is a job. You're voting for someone to get a job. You want to hire the person who's got the ability to deal with something new that you haven't even thought of that's going to come up in the next 3 years. Right. There are many issues that are going to come up that we haven't even discussed or thought of. So you want people who have those abilities. So I believe in running on qualifications more than the issues.
And I think, the big thing that I always come back to in these situations is character. And you can look at a person's actions and the things that they say and the things that they do and get a sense of their character. And that's where people are really going to have to take a look at past behaviors will predict future behaviors. So on that note, in talking about the issues that are coming up, I researched some of the issues, but from your standpoint, what are the big issues that are facing Estero Island in the next couple years?
Well, the two biggest issues that I think we need to concentrate on is water, the water quality issue. I'm not going to talk about that any further because I think that's kind of been talked to death, to tell you the truth, but it is my number one concern. I also think all the Estero Boulevard projects should be the number two concern of the town council, and we need to concentrate our time on that. There are some other things that are on the back burner for me that I think we also need to look at. One of them is emergency preparation. The 3 years I was on council, I spent most of that 3 years trying to get our emergency plan rewritten. It still hasn't been rewritten to this day. We managed to function pretty well through Irma, but we were lucky.
You got lucky.
We were
exactly.
lucky.
Yeah.
And I think we need to take a look at that plan. And the plan that we have in place now is truly out of date. It refers to things like using fax. Nobody uses fax anymore to communicate, really. So it needs to be updated. And it's important that we're ready to go should an emergency hit us. It's just a few months away to hurricane season.
Now, on Estero Boulevard, are you referring to the road construction primarily?
Well, it's actually, I think it's 5 or 6 projects. I can't even name them all. And it's very frustrating to people because it has gone on so long, but what they have to do is add up in their minds how many things are going on out there. They put in a new gas line, put in
waters.
But the cable guys have been out there. The FPL put in new poles. There's fresh water, drinking water lines going in. There's a stormwater project. And fortunately, we're doing all of this ahead of the road so that when the road is put down, we don't tear it up next year to fix something else. So, and I've seen that happen in so many jurisdictions. And so I'm so glad that we're doing all this other stuff ahead of the road project. But because of that, it's incredibly complicated. And you got to ask a lot of questions and make sure it keeps moving forward.
Well, I know that Ed had interviewed Christel Construction, and they had talked about that very thing, that, there was a lot of upgrades that were going on. Lines that were above ground were going underground to update, update things down here. And that project, they had shaved off 5 years.
Yes.
But I also heard that there was some maybe disagreement from the town manager about the validity of that getting done in time. Do you have any comment on that?
I really don't, because I don't know. I'm not an insider at the present time, so I don't know the inside information, but I'm looking forward to getting to look at that again.
Well, hopefully it will be, according to the people who are actually doing the project, will prevail with their prediction, and it'll be done sooner rather than later.
And I do know they did shave a lot of time off the project, and we have the county officials to thank for that. The businesses contacted them and said, hey, this is killing our island.
Right.
We've got to move this along. And they did take a significant amount of time off the project.
Well, good. Now, what about the TPI project? Do you have any comments or?
I'd love to see that lawsuit get resolved as soon as possible. I also have questions for the town attorney about what's going on with that. It seems to me we could be a little more aggressive about trying to get that dismissed.
Resolved?
I don't know if a motion to dismiss has been filed or not, but that's an action the town could be taking if we have grounds to do that. I don't know if they have a restraining order or an injunction to keep the project from going forward at this point or not. That's a question I'd like to have answered. If they do have an injunction, I'd like to see us move to set that aside. There are things that we could be doing, and I haven't heard any of them discussed.
Now, is it true that the town attorney, are they looking at changing, and they did change that?
They hired a brand new town attorney.
Okay.
I don't know him. I have heard him speak. I watch all the town council meetings online. I've been impressed so far
Okay.
by the few minutes that I've heard him speak.
It's going to take them, I would imagine, a little bit of time to get up.
He's got to get up to speed
There's
on
a-
a myriad of stuff.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot. So that's going to kind of delay some of the things that you were talking about too, because you have to give them a chance to get up to speed so that they can.
I can say, though, with pleasure, I say this, the prior town attorney, I saw him, he was in the crowd. They are doing a transition period. He didn't just walk away mad. He's staying and filling in and training and giving information to the new town attorney. So I applaud both of those gentlemen for their professionalism.
Well, that's good to hear. And I actually did watch a little bit of it too. And the gentleman, the previous town attorney, was kind of sitting in the back when Leon was talking, and he was, he made his plea, and he was very professional.
Yes.
So it's good that there's some professionalism that's exhibited.
Yes.
On TV there. So, do you have a question, dear? Oh,
I appreciate it. I didn't want to interrupt you because I know that is not the.
She was
proper
on a
thing to
roll.
do. She was. She's done a lot of research, and I can't believe you said you watch the council meetings. You have no time for that. You're so busy. But Roxanne, is this council targeting businesses with violations? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know that is happening from any solid evidence. I hear rumor that is happening. I've heard people tell me it is happening, but I haven't heard any town employee say I was instructed by someone to go cite someone.
So what is your view on code violations and things like that? Should they be as hard if the things that you're being told are true? Should they be that hard, or should they figure out a way to work with the businesses a little better so they feel like they're part of this island, even though some of them might not live here?
I have an actual plan to deal with this issue, and I mentioned it before at an EITA meeting. You need to take your code and you need to break it down into 3 parts. The first part should be safety. If someone doesn't have a fence around their pool to protect a child from falling in, you should be on them right now, immediately. That should be first tier. Then you have a second and third tier based on severity of the violation. Third tier things should be receiving warnings with lots of time to fix them. Second tier things should probably also be receiving warnings with a little less time to fix them. Safety issues, life and limb, those should be getting immediate hammered.
right. Now the sidewalk situation. Thank you. It looked like in 2015 that they raised the sidewalk rate at that point from $4.50 to $6, but wanted to take it to $12 back then, and people were like, "Wow," which it was would have been a big hike. They've since now passed that.
Yes,
and
they did.
So, I mean, it's going from 6 to 9, which is a pretty big 50% jump.
Right.
For folks, for businesses coming off of a not so great year.
To clarify, this when you say sidewalk issue, you mean the businesses on Times Square that have the tables out in the Times Square?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a sidewalk repair going on too.
No, there's more than one controversy.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I mean the price that they have to pay to lease the space from the town.
It does seem like it was a big jump to me. However, I will say this in defense of something that the current council has done. My understanding is that another business further down the avenue had already negotiated the same rates that they passed and agreed to pay those rates. So if you charge less to these folks out here,
Right.
it looks like you're treating people differently. Now, that's what I've been told. I don't know that that's true, but that's what my understanding is, that someone else privately negotiated to pay those same rates.
Interesting. Did you know that, dear?
Yes.
Oh.
So
All
I
right.
think the council was a bit caught in that situation. Even though, of course, they wanted to raise it, you could tell that that was their discussion. They wanted to raise them higher than other people were saying. But I think if I had been there, I might have said, yeah, I think maybe we have to go that way because of the fact that another business is already paying that rate.
Right.
And you can't treat people differently that are in the same circumstances.
No, that would not be fair. And you are fair. And I think it's important that you keep referring to having, the knowing what's really going on, not going on hearsay, but having evidence before you make a decision and being thoughtful and thinking it through and not having a knee-jerk response is something that's much needed.
Yeah. Getting information is so important. And one of the things I will say to you that's difficult about being on town council is they present you with a notebook about 4 days before the meeting. Sometimes it's 500-600 pages that you have to go through. It would be nice if we could get more information a little earlier. I understand that they're trying to compile it into an organized form, but if they could shoot out part of the information early and say, look, this isn't organized yet, but we know this is going to be part of the packet, you can start reading. There is a lot that they have to digest. And I really, really want people on town council who are going to read that packet and know what's in it. I've heard people asking questions, and I know the answers in the packet because I read it. And I hate to hear that because that means that they didn't read the stuff.
500 pages?
Yeah.
Is a lot to read.
It is.
In
It
a
is.
short amount of time.
It is. It is. If you've got 4 days, then you got to read 125 pages a day.
Yeah, and if you're doing anything else besides serving on the town council,
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Wow.
It's supposed to be a part-time job. I found it to be a full-time job.
well, and you have the time to devote to it as well.
I am lucky that I do. I see a lot less of my husband. He doesn't care for
How do
the
I
amount
get
of time
that
that I'm away.
That's not always a bad
but
thing.
he's very supportive. And in fact, I feel sorry for the people that he'll collar and they'll say, why should I vote for my wife, for your wife? And he'll give him a 20-minute diatribe.
So now what about one thing that's coming up is the garbage thing. How is the garbage removal going to get done down here? Because it currently February 1st, it's going from the town doing it to looking for an outside.
My understanding is that they found a private hauler to do it and that it's going to cost everybody less to do it. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's just my understanding.
Right.
But if that's the situation, I think,
Yeah,
hey,
that's-
businesses, if you found somebody that'll do it for you, and I think they're going to give them even better service is my understanding. So that would be super.
Well,
I hope
saw
that's
one
the way
of
it's
them
going.
up the street as I was coming down here. One of the contractors, the garbage contractors, was right in front of me, and he was being very efficient.
Well, I do know that they don't have service on Sunday, so
Right.
that's going to be a problem because obviously Saturday's a big night down here. But yeah, they're working through that.
I thought I had heard, though, I think it was Advanced Disposal who appeared at a meeting who said he would look into whether they would be able to provide something special for them on Sunday or not. Now, I don't know whether he was able to accomplish that, but, that's something you can do with private business. You can say, hey, we'll pay extra if you'll come on Sunday.
I only have one more question, dear. So, Rexanne, are you pro-growth, or do you want Fort Myers Beach to be a tiny little town forever?
Well, my answer to that is that
I can restate it.
I believe in balance. I believe in there have always been two camps on this island, residents and business. I need them both. I like to be able to go out to eat. I want a nice place to go. I want businesses where I can shop on this island. I don't want to have to leave the island to go to buy something if I need a new light bulb or whatever. I'm in favor of business. I believe in appropriate growth. Measured growth, yes. But I also believe that the businesses need to respect the residents. And I believe in large part they have. There's a few bad eggs that have caused consternation. We know that everywhere you go. Let's concentrate on the people causing the problem and not say, okay, we're going to regulate everybody who does this. We've already got enough regulations in place. We need to enforce what we've got.
Well, and I would say too that there's might be a third group in there. Is you've got residents against some other homeowners, because you do have the issue of these short-term rentals where people rent out they have the house,
right.
bought the house as an investment property,
right?
And then they're renting it out. And I can imagine living next to a house like that where every week somebody's coming in, and that's great. You're on vacation,
right?
Party hardy. But if that person next door has to get up and go to work,
exactly,
that's a problem.
It is a problem. And the unfortunate thing is that the state of Florida has basically interceded in this area and said, you are not allowed to regulate short-term rentals. If you already have
home rule,
yes, it's in violation of home rule, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What the only reason we have a law is that ours was passed before the state interceded. Mm-hmm. And it makes me nervous every time people talk about modifying it, because there is some case law that says if you modify it, you can lose it.
Fall under that, right.
I haven't heard that anybody sued us over the last time, but they could. So I worry about modifying that. I will be looking into that and seeing if there's anything we can do about it. There's actually some provisions in there that are horrible. There is a provision that says you can only do a short-term rental to a family. Well, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's not
fair.
Just discriminatory.
Right.
What is a family?
That's punitive.
People have foster kids. They're not related to them.
Right. How do you define that?
Yeah. How do you define a family? It's discriminatory. So we've got some bad things. They left that in, So, and I'm not sure why. Maybe they thought if they changed that would be one of the things that would trigger the state to say, look, you don't have a law anymore. I don't know.
Well, and I did hear some discussion that what they're looking at now, that there was some precedent set where some of these rules had been in place before but weren't being enforced.
Correct.
And so the new stuff was to sort of bolster up the enforcement of that. Because I know the one thing about having someone available 24/7, while it may be difficult, you need someone to call
Exactly.
if there's a problem with that house next door, because calling the sheriff for that kind of baloney is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree. Although I can tell you, I have called the sheriff when I had a problem. I found them to be very responsive. And I know that when we contact them, that they get in touch with the town manager, or they've come to town council meetings and talked to us about how they can do things better, different places to patrol and show more attention to. They've been very responsive to us.
I've always, Lee County Sheriff's deputies have been fantastic. I know that they are very much about public safety and serving the public, and he's pulling them.
I know, because thank you very much, dear. You're so nice to everybody. It's such a good balance. So, Rexanne, take a couple of minutes and tell the audience exactly why they should vote for you.
Why they should vote for me? Well, I think Kim covered it earlier, and I like her new acronym, integrity, knowledge, and experience. I said it before. You don't want someone who's running on a specific issue and has an axe to grind. You want someone who has the qualifications to deal with the unexpected things that are going to come up in a balanced and measured way.
No, it's not a question. And as far as integrity goes, besides meaning your integrity, the word integrity means to keep things whole and undivided. And I think that is what Rexanne will do for the town, is to bring people back together and not have these divisions.
Hey, I believe in listening to everybody, even the people that I disagree with.
Well, there you go, folks. Thank you so much, Rexanne.
Rexanne, will you come on again before the election?
I'd love
great.
to.
Thank
I'd love
you so
to.
much, and thank you so much for coming on.
Was that a polite way of
very
dismissing
much.
me?
Oh, no. Rexanne, everybody. Thank you very much.
Are you ready for Paula?
we're going to take I want to mention what's going on here real quick before Carla comes on.
Okay.
And it's the putt and pub crawl today.
Yes.
And
They're getting all set up.
I know they have I know you can't see it, or in the radio folks certainly can't see what's going on, but they have these miniature golf holes set up at 9.
They're like obstacle miniature golf holes.
At like 9 different locations, and they're raising money for the local charities, and of course they're going to be drinking beer. But apparently these people are real serious about these golf holes, and so
Well, I think there's some good prizes.
wicked good prizes.
Wicked.
So if you better get down here early because the beach is already packed.
It
It's so
is.
nice out right now. They're going to be setting up holes at the Whale, Shuckers, Salty Crab, La Ola, Peach Timeout, Placas, Pierside, Yucatan, Matanzas, all those places, and you register at Nervous Nelly. So that's all going on.
Starting
today.
at?
It starts at 10. I got on the Instagram this morning, and I said it started at 2, and that was wrong. I don't know where I saw that, but it starts at 10. And it goes, I think, until 2 o'clock today. So come on
Then
down.
they're
to the
going
beach.
to tally up there, and there are people watching.
Yeah.
There's no cheating.
That's right. You can't
There are
cheat.
gonna
I don't
be-
think you get a second chance at it or anything like that. So
She's taking us. There's a little girl that's going to take
very
a second
nice.
chance at
Oh,
it.
well, yeah, I guess little kids probably. It's probably an age cutoff where you don't have to worry about it. So, all right, dear. So you're going to take
All
a break,
right,
and
I
Carla's
am.
going to come on, sit down next to me, and Carla Pine is here, ladies and gentlemen. Our second guest, Carla, is a business owner down the street. Christy's coming on too. Chris, you got to get nice and close in there. We're gonna have to get nice and close. Carla,
Get close.
nice and close to the microphone.
Okay, gotcha.
Tell us exactly what you do. The name of your business, where it is, and what the business is all about.
Okay, my store is the Salty Dog Gallery and Gifts. We are directly across from Diamond Head. We're in a plaza that we're kind of hidden. We're kind of like the hidden secret on the beach,
Right below Hoosiers.
right below Hoosiers in Paradise.
And what do you sell?
I sell home decor, mostly things made in the U.S. And I specialize in furniture painting.
Some dog stuff too,
A
right?
few dog stuff, yeah.
Like what?
From's dog food, harnesses, leashes, treats, and dog toys.
And how long have you been there?
13 years. We've
Now-
been at this for 13 years.
Now, what were you thinking when you opened a business on Fort Myers Beach?
Yeah, what was I thinking? I tell you what, it was a kinder beach when we first opened up. It really was a different story altogether.
What do you mean by that?
We had a town that embraced business. They embraced people coming in and trying something new and did everything they could to help us keep our businesses going. They promoted us in many ways. We don't have that anymore.
Before we get to we don't have that anymore, who was in charge back then? Was it Dan and Anita and
And Alan Mandel.
I don't know Alan?
You don't know Alan?
No.
Alan did so much for a beach
No kidding.
without any accolades. People just didn't know what he did for us.
Is Alan still around?
Alan is now head of Goodwheels.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I wonder
yeah.
if we can get him on the show. Can you pull some strings for us?
we could probably ask
Nice.
Alan. He's one of the best men you will ever want to meet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what went south here?
What went south? Well, it all started with all the different regulations that we were forced to comply with. You know, if you didn't, you ended up with a code enforcement violation. But, you know, we need our town to embrace and support everyone who comes here, not just us as business, but the people who come here as tourists and the people who come here to buy property, to make their homes here. We used to be a friendly beach, and I don't see that anymore. And I want my town to lead by example. I want my town to embrace the people who work for them, show them respect, and show us respect. And that's what we were taught as children, respect.
So what kind of regulations had they imposed on you to make it tougher to?
Well, it's not necessarily the regulations they impose on us. It's when they decide they're going to do something. It's whatever the hot button is that day.
Mhm.
You know, they'll go around and start looking for this and that. I think probably the first thing was the outdoor display. That was the first thing.
Like signage and things like that?
Well, even having things outside.
Okay.
You know,
That's what the beach is about, isn't
that's
it?
what the beach is about. And if you're going to have an outdoor display, you've got to pay $200 a year to have that. And, you know, we've had some tough years here. You know,
Right.
we had the non-existent BP oil spill that killed us. Then we've had road construction. And, we embrace the road construction because it makes our town look and feel better all the way around. And, they were telling us that we could have flags and we could have A-frames out, and as long as road construction is going on. That didn't work out so well.
Right.
So, but it's just things like that we need to be seen when people walk by or drive by or sitting in traffic. And I'm unfortunately in kind of a hidden spot in my shop.
Right. You're down below Hoosiers, about
Right
about a
beside
half a mile from here.
Right
Right.
beside the tattoo shop. And I'm just kind of like hidden in there, and it's very hard for people to see me. But we've been here long enough, people know where I am. But for the people who don't know where I am, they're looking for me. And I've got to have something outside to catch their attention. I mean, our town is all about color and vibrance.
Kind of like your shirt.
Well, yeah. There's nothing dull about us. And we want people to be able to see us, come in and enjoy something. I've watched people's families grow up. They come in every year. And I hear what people are saying is what happened to our beach. It's just not what it used to be.
So are there any specific people on the council now that are being the pains in your butt?
No, I'm not going to say anything that way. I just want new council.
Okay. Are there specific people running that you really think people should vote for?
Yes, I'm all for Dan.
Mhm.
I'm all for Rexanne.
Mhm.
I just think we've got to bring people back in their business friendly again. And hi there. And we need to get back to the basics with our town again. We really have lost who we are. And everybody thinks we're a fun and funky little beach town, but there's nothing fun about us anymore. We've lost our fun. We've lost being nice to people.
You're depressing me a little bit, Carla.
I'm sorry. It's the truth. I mean, I hear it from my customers every day, and we want people to come back. We have traffic. Big deal. We have traffic. It's an island.
Right.
So
Right.
we just deal with it.
So let's see. The current council, Dennis Boback, is running again. Any opinion on how he's doing or how he did?
I don't want him to be reelected.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I tell you what, Anita has been wonderful for the business.
Yep.
Because she is a business owner. She will put herself out there to stand up for us, and she has all along. And I'm glad she's still there. So.
Now, how important is this election to the people on this beach? There's only 5,000 voters. You have 4 folks running for 3 seats.
Mhm.
How important is it? 58%, I'm sorry, 2 seats. 58% of the 5,000-ish voters went to the last election. Some people say that's good. I don't think it's good.
No, it's not good.
Good is 90% to me, but what do you want to say as far as people need to get out, not only vote, but they need to know who they're voting for.
Right.
They need to help the candidates win.
They definitely do. This is probably one of our most important votes that we've had in a long time. And we have a lot of people who own here and vote here, but really don't know who and what they're voting for. They kind of listen to the people in their condos. It's like, oh, why don't you vote for this person? No, do your research, find out who you want, because they're not here sometimes long enough to know what's going on, especially in the summertime. Things happen in the summertime around here that the people who own don't really know what's going on, and they vote here. So everybody needs to not listen to their neighbor, but read, get out, go listen to the candidates when they was it February 11th?
Yep.
Go listen to them, see what they stand for, and make a judgment that works for the beach, not for just you.
Now, Christy, I know you're involved in organizing the candidates forum on the 11th.
Yes.
It's the women's club or woman's club? I have to make sure I say it right. Women's club or women's club?
Women's.
Women's or women's? Oh, good. I'm not alone to say.
No E. There's an O.
Okay.
Women's
the Women's Club is sponsoring the Candidates Night Forum on February 11th at the location is like way down there, right? Which it's a couple miles. It's at least 5 miles down.
It's at the.
That's where the Women's Club is, but
Yeah.
it's at the church.
It's at the
It's
church.
at the church. Sorry, it's at the church,
Right.
February the 11th, and the time is.
The time. Oh, why am I going blank?
You made the flyer, Christy.
I made the flyer. Oh my God.
I think it's 6 o'clock, right?
Oh,
Anyway, it's on
gosh.
You have a Facebook page.
6 o'clock is the special. Ooh, Mango
right.
Street Inn is doing the.
There's wine before the Candidates Night
appetizers.
Forum.
And then it starts at 6:30. And this is not to this is independent. This is not to support any
Right.
candidate.
This will be a serious thing.
It-
Unlike the show, sometimes it's going to be a totally serious thing.
Right.
And have all the candidates agreed to appear?
I have not heard that the actual invitations
Okay.
have gone out.
Well,
I
I
think
guess
that's
because yesterday was the last day to
Yeah,
file, so they
this-
needed to know.
I think this week probably.
Awesome. So that's going to go February 11th at the church, not at the Women's Club.
Right.
And you'll be able to get more information on that on the Women's Club Facebook page, the Beach Talk Radio Facebook page, because Kim and I are going to be mediating or moderating.
Yeah.
Or
Of course,
whatever.
it'll be in the Island Sandpaper. I'm
Yes.
sure probably the Beach Observer as well
Right.
in the calendar section.
Now, do you have anything that you want to add to how things are going on the island as far as you're concerned?
I think a lot of people just live and they go to the beach or they go out on their boat or they do their own little thing. I think there are a lot of people like that because when I talk to people, it's amazing how many people don't really know what's going on, don't know the vibe, don't know the politics going on, code violations that really come. What I was going to add to what Carla said was they come from out of thin air. You don't even know that you had a code violation. I'm a snowbird and I've I walk a lot. I like to take in, I like to observe. And I've walked or ridden my bike, mostly ridden my bike, every single street on the entire island, looking around. And for all the people complaining about the big houses going up, what about all the charming cottages that people are rehabbing? And I don't know why that's not getting more accolades. But I do think there are an awful lot of people here that just have absolutely no clue what kind of damage is being done politically. And they really need to wake up and start paying attention. And particularly the snowbirds, like me, particularly the snowbirds that just come and go, and so many that don't read the paper, don't follow up, don't read about the town council meetings and so forth. There's so much to take in, and actually I've learned a lot on Beach Talk Radio, hearing about so much of what there is to offer around here. I've been down here for a number of years. We were talking about that today. There is so much going on all the time, and I'll think I know a lot about something, and I don't until I hear the interview.
Well, thank you for that. We realized how many events were going on, trying to do the research for each show. Now, as far as the election goes, I bet my wife $5 that Dennis Boback will come in fourth place. There is no way that he will get enough support to be elected. There's no. Yeah, on my side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she thinks he's going to be elected,
No, I
but
don't think so either.
I mean,
I don't see how he possibly could. I look at this election as three very viable, very important candidates, and Dennis paid the fee.
he didn't get any signatures. He just paid the fee.
The other three went out and got all the signatures.
Yeah.
They
You
have
need to
all
get
the support.
1%. You need to get signatures. I think is it 1% of the total voting. Like they've said, 5,000 voters. You need to get
Yeah.
1%. So that means you need to go door to door.
Yeah.
Unless your family is 1% of the population down here, and you get them all to sign.
Something I don't see a lot of or read a lot about here is getting absentee voter. People
even
do
do
that all the time
Yeah.
up north. Do they?
I
They don't
haven't
even
heard anything about it.
offer
It's a great
that?
question. I'll look into that for
I
sure.
just assumed if we, in other communities we've lived in, if we have absentee voter ballots, why not here?
Yeah.
I don't see anything
question.
about that.
So the election is March the 5th. The forum is February the 11th. And Carla's business is about a half a mile down the road underneath Hoosiers. And from what I understand, you got some pretty cool stuff down there, like, really unique stuff. Yeah.
If you come to my house, you'll see a lot of it.
You having a party at your house or something? We saw.
Decor by Salty Dog. Yeah, Decor
Okay.
by Salty Dog.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
yes.
Very nice. Anything else you want to add, Carla?
Oh, just everybody get out and let's remember that we're all humans. We deserve respect. And let's treat our employees and our council with respect that they show to us.
Great. Thank you for coming on so much.
welcome.
Christy, thank you for introducing me to Carla and having her come on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll be down to your
Thanks for
shop.
holding that.
We'll be down to your shop soon. My wife loves that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We have another special guest that's going to come on real quick. John Lalo is going to come on for 5 minutes and talk about what's going on out on the Times Square lot here before we get on and wrap up the show for this nice morning. John Lalo is the owner of Pete's Time Out, It's nice to see you, my friend. Lovely
morning,
hat you have
Edward.
on there. Very nice. How you feeling?
That was paid in full. I think you owe me change.
I do. I appreciate
How much are
you
those
supporting that. There, as much as you charged me for the Peach Time
No,
Out hat,
no,
we'll call
no,
it even.
no. What is
$70.
What is the opening bid on these in the public?
$15. $15. So you're
And
fine.
then I was supposed to get an employee discount.
That's
so
right.
that's like you owe me 19 back then. Right.
Right. It's a buck a hat out here. By the way, folks, we have hats, we have shirts, we have mugs, we have mouse pads, and we have John. Now, John, first question
I'm not
is
for sale though.
what's going on out here on the
We got
Times
the
Square?
Putt and Pub Crawl today. That's benefiting very, very many
local charities? Yep.
local charities, and it's from 10 to
I know, I
4,
corrected
not
myself.
2 to
Sorry.
6. So don't listen to Ed. He's fake news sometimes. Okay.
I was only on Instagram. When I figure out how to get on Instagram, I gave the wrong time. But it's 10 to 2. It's about to start in 7 minutes. What is the par on your hole here?
Our par is 1.
Okay, so you have to get a hole in one.
You got to get a hole in one to win some prizes. That's
Okay.
the thing.
What prizes are you giving away?
Well, we usually have a bucket full of balls, and on the balls you would say, okay, I want to be part of this, and then you would donate some money, and then each ball it says appetizer, drink, gift card, blah blah blah.
Very
So
nice.
once you win that ball by donating some money, now you got to make it in the hole. You don't just get that gift.
Gotcha.
So then you got to perform.
Awesome. Okay, so there's 8 other places, and they tally up the scores, and then there's bigger prizes.
Exactly. Now I'm not 100% sure what the prizes are, but I know that each charity is manning a hole to help benefit their charity also. So come on down. This is so much fun. I mean, you'll have like some big heavy hitters out here.
I know
believe
they're
me.
serious about this.
They're serious. You'll have the Torgensons down here. You'll have some of the town officials down here. You'll have just about anyone. They're all dressed real goofy. So if you want to come make fun of people, come on down.
Now, will the mayor actually come down and play your hole?
The mayor she actually worked our hole like 3 years ago before
Okay.
she ran. I think it
Oh.
was
Gotcha.
before she ran for office. She actually was part of this. She came down and helped benefit. And that was back when it was for, I believe the Bay Oaks or soccer. So yeah, she has participated in this in the past.
So is there anything that you want to add about the local politics? I'll just
Well,
throw it out there like that.
You asked me to come on here yesterday, and I don't want to be negative. I really don't want to be negative. I think on my drive in, I'm thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Here's the deal. It seems like every time that we have a new election, the first thing they do is go after our town manager. That's got to stop. You can't just fire a guy for doing his job. If you had a bad council giving him bad direction, then you fix that with a good council. I believe Roger is doing what he's supposed to be doing. This town needs to heal, and he's qualified for the job. And if he gets better leadership, maybe that would be better than firing somebody every time you don't like what they have to say.
So
That's basically that's my platform right now, today.
I'm going to keep it general. So I did want to ask you, in the scope of the amount of years that you've been here, how important is this election compared to other elections?
Every election's important. And of course, it's the end of the world on every election. It's not the end of the world. We just got to get good people that just understand the matrix of this beach. We have 3 great candidates, Rick Sand, Dan Allers, Ray Murphy. I'm torn because all 3 of them are my personal friends that I've known over time. So I'm basically supporting all 3 of them. I have no choice because I can't just choose 1 out of the 3 or 2 out of the 3 and leave the other one hanging. So I'm going to support all 3 of them, and then let their morals and their policies and their view stand for themselves.
I was telling Carla before that I bet Kim $5 that Dennis Boback will come in 4th place in this election. How do you think that'll play out?
It's going to be it's all about numbers. If you got 3,000 voters.
I thought there were 5,000. Is it 3,000? Wow.
Well, there's 7,000 people. And if you look by past elections, I think only 3,500 actually voted.
58% is what the number was from the town.
And there's many little angles that can happen to get Dennis elected again. So it is what it is. We can't control it. I don't live on the beach. I own property here. I've owned a business here, 35 years and counting. Y'all hear that every time we're on. We have a lot of stake here, but we have no voting power. So we have you, the radio, the media, our monies to try to help support the candidates we feel.
Thank you so much, John, for allowing us to come down, and we appreciate that. And it's been great so far. 30 episodes. Can you believe that? You're getting old, man.
Good
You're getting
Lord.
gray. 30
No,
episodes.
I thought you said Kim was getting old.
I don't say that in front of her, John.
Oh, you put it on social media.
She doesn't get on Facebook.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Good luck today with the Putt, Pub, and Crawl. This is episode number 30. My wife is out there PRing it up with everybody, which she always does, which is nice. In addition to what we have going on here every Saturday in episode number 30, we have, I don't want to forget to mention, Schoolhouse Rock is coming up on January 24th from 7 to 9, and we're going to be there from 5:30 to 6:30. As we mentioned, on February 11th, we're going to be at the church doing the mediating of the candidates forum, and Shrimp Fest is coming up already. I can't believe it's almost Shrimp Fest time again. If you think it's busy today, wait until Shrimp Fest rolls around.
I cannot wait to have some of that shrimp.
It's going to be crazy, and we're going to be broadcasting live from the Sea Gypsy.
I know we don't have a lot of time. I might have lined up someone for your trivia.
Oh.
There was an out-of-towner who is here on vacation, and she approached me. She wants to be on the show. I have lost her in this sea of people.
Will she be around next week?
She said she leaves on Tuesday.
Well, that's a bummer. Good thing, because I didn't bring any trivia questions with me. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to have to give her the shirt or the mug. So you have to warn
I
me of
met
these
some
things.
new people who just moved down
I
here
know,
3
dear.
weeks ago,
I know,
and they
you're out-
moved to Gateway.
You're out there PRing it with
I'm
people.
telling you,
That's
there's
very-
a lot
very
of
great.
people down here.
So it was a great show. Well, last week was insane with Tom Torgerson coming on, and wow, he was crazy. And
He shed a
He was
lot
out there.
of
He was
light
out there.
on the situation
Yeah.
and people's
wow,
behavior.
yeah, he's involved in the campaign now. It's if you didn't see last week's show, folks, you want to get on the Facebook page or get on Beach Talk Radio and listen to it. There's also a snippet of just the interview with Tom that we posted up there in both audio and video versions, so you can go back and listen to that. And I was getting texts from lots of people on Saturday night when we were sitting out back in our home studio about it was the best show ever, which would have been better if it was this week. Like episode 30 was your best show ever. Instead, it's episode 29B.
Well,
Was the best show
still
ever.
good.
Yeah.
So, how was your little exercise today?
It was fine. I went to the gym at 4:30 around the
Mine
clock.
was not good.
Oh, wait a second. You came
Yes.
and there's another one of our friends that
Yes.
visits us. He's the guy with the smile on his face.
Yes.
He won the mug the last time. How you doing? You're getting a tan. You look great. Where's your wife?
Okay. We're on the radio.
Huh? Yeah, you're looking tan, man. Oh, he sent her home. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so when you came back from your exercise, first you say to me the gym's closed, which it wasn't. It's open at 7. So you're going to drive down, and then run over the bridge. Now, of course, you know, you're fresh off a replaced hip. So while you're running, I have no idea. You're not supposed to be running or biking, and so it doesn't make any sense.
I wanted to give it a try. After a first couple of steps over that Matanzas Bridge, I was like, nah, this isn't going to happen.
Well, how did you get sand all over you?
Well, I was frustrated and upset, so I decided to come down to the beach, and I did a burpee challenge on the beach.
With who?
Myself. And so it's a burpee challenge at the beach. I would like everyone to get out there, get some exercise, do a burpee challenge, and then let us know how many burpees you can do in 30 minutes.
All right. Well, first of all, what if the people don't know how to do a burpee?
It's like the squat thrust we used to do way back in the day. You jump up, a little jump, tiny jump, and you don't need the jump. Raise your arms up, go down onto the ground, put your legs back,
how many
do
did
a
you do?
push up, and jump up again. Squat
How many did you
thrust. I did in 28 minutes. I got to 200.
No kidding.
Yep.
28. Why'd you stop at 28 minutes? Why didn't you go to 30?
Well, because 30 minutes?
Yeah, you
Because
said
at
it was 30.
28, I needed to take a breath, and so I did another 20, but it wasn't in the 30 minutes.
Oh, so you did 28 burpees in 30 minutes, right? Is that what
No,
you said?
I did 200 burpees
come
in
on.
28
Is there video
minutes.
of that, or is there some kind of proof?
Please. Yes, there was a ton of people on the beach thinking I was a lunatic.
So speaking of the burpee challenge, this isn't the first time you've done it.
Nope.
One time we were sitting in the back, and I was actually drinking beer, watching a football game or
You
something.
fell asleep.
And I fell asleep while you were doing burpees, and when I woke up, you were still doing burpees.
It was Mother's Day too, I think. That was ridiculous.
How
I
many
think
did you do that time?
I did 500.
That's right. It was 500. That's why it took the whole football game. You did
It
500
took a
burpees.
long time.
Well, I
a
ran
long
3
time.
miles and I didn't fall in the sand. So I went to the gym at 4:30, then I ran 3 miles. So
All right, everybody, let us know what your burpee numbers are. Thank you for joining
nobody's
us
doing
today.
any burpees.
It's 10 o'clock. We have to sign off.
Dan Allers is
Oh,
walking
my
by.
goodness.
All the candidates are out there playing putt-putt. Well, thank you so much, folks. We appreciate it. We will see you in a week down here on the beach. We'll have, Bill, by the way, a little teaser for next week. Bill Mitch is coming on next week from FGCU. We are going to talk about the water for the first half hour. He's going to be our first guest or second guest, one or the other. And his solution to the water problem is what? More wetlands.
There you go.
A great answer. So we'll see you guys in a week. Come on down to the beach.
Come
And
down,
play
do
some
some
golf.
putt-putt golf.
Bye-bye.
Dancing it out.